Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Certainly happy to be here, and thank you for HL7 having us out. Let's see here. I'm going to be talking a little bit about my company, Get Real Health, and our two complementary products. InstantPHR, which is a modular patient engagement platform, and CHBase, which is our data repository and security engine that is really a FHIR repository with a lot of attributes and capabilities that design it to be specifically optimized for patient-facing scenarios. These two products work together, but CHBase, which is going to be really the focus of our discussion today, is something that operates in many cases on its own. And I'm going to take you through a little bit of what this does and how the two work together. So I'll start with InstantPHR, which actually came before CHBase. This is really our application layer. It is a patient portal toolkit that can be used for a number of different things. It's not just a PHR, meaning it's not just intended for patients to collect their own information. It's designed for a lot of different patient-facing purposes. It's used for enterprise patient portals where organizations need to have a single window into clinical data from multiple organizations. We have customers throughout the world that are using this at government level so that they have a single common patient portal and with personal health record functionalities that covers all of the health organizations. It's also useful for remote monitoring. It's not just patient-facing, but with the ability to connect health and wellness devices. That data is made available both to patients and also to care managers. CHBase, on the other hand, is really, it's very much in line with what you would expect from a FHIR repository in terms of the data services. It's mainly an API layer. It manages data storage. It provides the APIs, both FHIR and other APIs. So we have analytics APIs. We have APIs for account provisioning. We have APIs that do functions beyond FHIR. Supporting other standards, for example, like XDS, so we're really a multi-protocol platform. But it also provides, in addition to that data handling, very detailed consent and patient authorization capabilities. So patients can choose not only which applications they want to allow to connect to their data, but also which individuals. They have the ability to share certain portions, certain resource types with other individuals who are helping with their care, and also choose what applications they want to utilize to connect to their care. And CHBase provides user interfaces to allow patients to manage that control and access to those APIs for their data. I'll skip through the self-congratulatory stuff, but we've been rated as one of the best patient engagement solutions simply because of the breadth of our capabilities. Let's see here. InstantPHR and CHBase, when you look at them conceptually work together with IPHR providing this app or the application layer, all of the user interface components, and CHBase providing not only these security and API features, but the interfaces to get data from health information exchanges, EHRs, wellness systems, and third-party apps. So over here on the lower right is really what we're going to be, the context that we're going to be talking about regarding our FHIR support. From an architectural level, because every one of us has to have the architecture slide, CHBase is really the piece at the bottom here. It's providing the data storage. The upper left is InstantPHR, which is going to be used as a sample app for pushing data in. And we're also going to show a stand-in for a personal health app that's using FHIR to interact with the data platform. We are not only a FHIR service, but we're a FHIR consumer. We're not going to show that today, but we can act as an OAuth layer and Smart on FHIR extension through the EHR patient portal, so we can get data from them. If they're able to accept it, we're also able to push patient-generated data back to them. But really, we're going to focus on our role as a FHIR service today. So if we could switch over to the web browser real quick, I'll give you a quick tour of how an application can connect to CHBase. Okay. Let's see. Oops. So I'm going to show you 3 applications here that are part of the experience. I'm going to start, this is InstantPHR, a sample configuration of it. And we have a patient here, Stephanie Martin, who is logged into her record. Again, the data is being retrieved from CHBase. Some of this data may be coming from her EHR or from a personal or connected medical devices, things like weight scales and glucometers and so forth. You can see right here that she has a number of readings in her record, and seems to be going a little bit slow right now. But I'll add a new reading to her record. Actually, we're switching to a dashboard page. I'm just going to add a new blood pressure reading. One of the things I did want to mention is that we support the concept of a user is not equal to a patient. A user is the person using the system. The user can be accessing records for themselves, for family members, or if a patient uses the capabilities of CHBase to share their information with someone else, then that other person who shared their information will be available in the list on the left. So right now we can see that although Stephanie is logged in, we're actually looking at her record for her mom, Emily, because Emily has shared access to her record to Stephanie. Now, again, we can see this data here, like, for example, in our blood pressure log, we can see there the most recent reading is 126 systolic. We switch back to the deck. Can we go back to the browser, please? Thank you. If we want to connect a FHIR sample application to contribute or utilize this data, a developer will first go in and register an application. So this is actually a user interface for application developers where they can come and they can create an application profile. Within that application profile, they set the rules that the application needs to access. And it looks like my authentication is timed out, so give me just a moment here. Yes, it does have it doesn't have demo mode timeout enabled right now, so unfortunately it logs out a little bit quicker than it would want. So right here I can see an application developer has created a bunch of different app profiles for their apps. So I have one right here, the FHIR sample app, and when I click into this, this is where the developer will basically register with their application, determine the data access they want. If they want data that's available only when a user is logged in, then they can create online rules. And what this does is the developer can determine the level of access that they need, the type of FHIR and other resources that they want access to. They can also do that for background or offline applications. Once this application has been published, then their application, and again, this now switching over to the context of a FHIR sample application, is able to log into the patient record and interact with whatever data the application has been authorized within the restrictions of what that user can access. Because, for example, if I grant my access to my record to another individual, but I only grant them access to my blood pressure readings, then that's all that user will be able to see, no matter what application they log in with. So I'm going to log in here to this application. It will do an OAuth authentication. And in just a moment here. So I'm now authenticating into this sample application as Stephanie. And as I log in, it will, instead of just authenticating me and taking me right into the app, if I haven't been in here before, well, it would normally ask me for permissions here. authorization. I apologize here, the demo gods have not been very happy today. Let's try this one more time. Okay. And if I can zoom back out here, I don't know what keystroke I was hitting to zoom into 200%. Okay, you can see right here, now that I've authenticated, before the application gets access, the user is presented with a list of the data access that this permission needs. So if they determine that they don't want to give this application access to certain resources, they can deny it. They also have the ability to authorize whatever records they have within their profile. So I'm going to go to Emily here and say we're going to allow access to this sample application. And the sample application here is one that's not intended to show a real user interface. It's intended to show the actual FHIR interactions. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to create a blood pressure observation. So I'll click Add. And we will come to a sample blood pressure reading. And someone give me a random systolic blood pressure that I can put in here. 124 is the first one I heard. So I will come up here, put this in on the 18th and the 27th. And let's come down here to 127. Or I'm sorry, 124. I will save the I don't know what I am hitting that is causing the browser to resize, but let's see here. Okay, we're saving this reading here, and now I'm going to switch back to my InstantPHR and simply refresh the display here and see if we have our new value. And we do. I hadn't put a blood pressure into this patient, but there's our 124. So again, you know, from a FHIR repository standpoint, CHBase supports all those functions, but the focus on being a patient-facing model with very detailed security is, I think, one of the things that sets us apart from many of the technologies. The ability to use that accompanied with InstantPHR or other custom applications for a variety of different patient-facing purposes is something that has enabled us to go into a lot of different markets with this technology. So with that, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.